Hi guys, it's Sharon Hartley from My Keto Journey, and this is just Charlie's home, and I'm so excited that he's home. I am excited. I am just worn out, completely worn out, and I can't imagine how Charlie must feel. He is so weak. He's so frail. He has lost so much weight, like his belly is just completely distended because he's been having IV fluids for the last 4 days. If you haven't been following Charlie's story, there are 3 or 4 other videos, I believe, that I have done about what went on with our little Havanese over the last 4 days. Well, it's been happening for the last month with his health running downhill. And I just wanted to come to you today to just tell you that we're really struggling. We're really struggling, and I am really struggling. And Charlie's really struggling, and it's just so hard to see him like this. He's not in any pain. I won't give him that. He's not in any pain, but they sent us home with some antibiotics, and they just make him so spaced out. He doesn't know where he is. It's just antibiotics to clear up any infection that he did have, because he did have some kind of bacteria happening in his urine. Um, so there was that, and his electrolytes were a little high when we brought him home, but they said, oh, that should be fine. The technician looked into the numbers and said, no, that should be fine. He hasn't been eating in the hospital, and that's probably just because he's in the hospital. He was pulling away from the food, just turning his head. And unfortunately, the same thing's happening here at home. So what we did when we went to go pick him up, he just was not himself. I don't know how they could say that he was happy and perky, because he was not happy and perky. He still looked very sick. I mean, he still is very sick. What am I saying? He still is really sick. And I'm not comparing being a dog mum to a human mother, but I can tell you it's probably very similar. Being up with him all night long, and he has thrown up a few times, and we do need to tell the vet that he hasn't had number 2 yet. And if he does have diarrhea or anything like that, it's off to the vet. If he doesn't eat, he's off to the vet. Now, what I've had to do is I've had to force feed him. I've just had to put a little bit of Greek yogurt on my finger, open his mouth, and put it in there. Now, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it like that. I want him to be able to eat. But now that he is on insulin, he's on 3 units of insulin, which is very, very tiny. Hi, Rena. How are you? I'm sorry, this video is probably going to be a little bit kind of down. I'm just down. I'm like not dealing with this all very well, but so I got quite a fair bit of yogurt into his mouth. I'd say maybe half of a cup. Now, when I called the vets yesterday when we got him home, I said, could he have chicken broth? Yes, he can have chicken broth heated up, and that might entice his appetite. No, he wouldn't take that either. I thought about putting it in a turkey baster, but he just, seriously, you have to hold his head down and just literally force it down his throat. And that just really upsets me to do that to him. And my husband, with him being disabled, everything is on me. I have to do it. And, I don't what I'm trying to say is, my husband just can't physically take care of him. So I'm the one that is taking care of him 100% of the time. And I'm the one that's taking 100% of the time taking care of my husband. And it's putting a toll on me. I haven't got any sleep. I feel like I'm getting fatigued a lot lately, because I think I have adrenaline issue issues going on. I have in the past I've had high TSH levels, thyroid stimulating hormone levels, and I just feel like that's all coming back. But my main focus is just to get Charlie better, and I know that it's going to take up to a week, a month maybe. And I'm ready to put in the time for him. I'm ready to just give all that I can to him. But, and I don't really like to put it out there, but like my husband kind of has his way, and he will say, let's do it this way. But the vet said that he's supposed to have his medication at 4 and he's supposed to have his insulin at 6. And my husband kind of wants to do things differently. And I think I kind of went off at him. Like, I'm PMSing too, and it's just a very emotional time. And so, I feel like we should be following the vet's instructions and we should be following the directions and what they want for him, because if he doesn't eat, then he can't possibly take his insulin. Now, if his sugars drop too low, they told us to get KO's corn syrup. Now, with me being on the ketogenic lifestyle, corn syrup is not, I know what corn syrup is. But that's to bring up the sugar. So we would just rub a little bit on his gum. So he must have had enough in his belly last night. I must have got enough in for his insulin, because he did not have any reaction at all to that. And my husband gives the shots. He gave the shot in his leg under the skin, and he didn't even flinch. Charlie is very good with needles. He's not. In some dogs, some dogs are very kind of they get upset about needles and they don't like it. And he didn't have to really pinch the skin because the needle just went under the skin. And they're actually the same needles that my husband uses for when he takes his shots. So he's on Novolin, just the the long acting, no mix. So we ended up getting that from Walmart for, well, I ended up getting two, which was kind of a little bit crazy of me, because he only takes 3 units and there's 100 units in a bottle. So I don't know if they would return the insulin or not. Probably not. Um, but like I said, my husband does have diabetes, so he could possibly take it, because I know with insulin, it can keep for a long time, but I mean that bottle will probably last us maybe a year. We'll see, because I don't really believe that his units are going to go up anymore unless it gets worse. And also, I've got like something going on with my voice. I'm very hoarse this morning. And I just feel like I just have no energy. Um So I just got to get myself right. I've just got to get my energy going so that I can take care of Charlie. Um, Now with the water, we've been trying to just give him a little, like 1 ounce of water, and I guess I like, because I'm very heavy-handed, and I just kind of just it just all just went in the bowl, and he was just lapping it up, and so he's been sick, and he was sick on his fur. He's got like a Angora fur. Um, he's got like an Angora fur blanket, and he was sick on that, so I had to put that in the laundry. I had to put that in the wash. And then last night he was sick on my husband's blankets that he has on the couch, because my husband kind of lays on the couch a lot, because with his back, and he's got rods and screws in his back. He's got sleep apnea really bad, and so when he's on the couch, he's not moving with those rods and screws. So it's a lot like comfortable for him to be on the couch. And so I'm washing his blankets. Um, so, like, I mean, I'm not saying at all that, having a dog is anything like having a child. But I kind of feel your pain when you say that your kids are sick and you've been up all night with them and they've been throwing up, or they've had a fever, and you've had to take them to the doctor, or if your kid is in the hospital, and it's kind of like you still get the same pain, like, in your heart. Like, I mean, I I don't know what it's like to be a mum, but I feel like with Charlie, this is the closest thing to being a mum. And when he was away from home, my heart just ached. It was just that ache, and the house felt so empty. And now, like, I'm really, really happy he's home, but I wanted him to be home. I wanted him to be home eating. I thought, oh, okay, he's going to come home and he's going to eat. He's going to eat for us. Now, he was licking a little bit of yogurt off my husband's finger. Um, but, I guess he will get his appetite back. But if he doesn't, it's another trip to the vets. We have to see our vets midweek. So, excuse me. So about Wednesday, sorry, Rena, your comments do pop up. I see them, and then all of a sudden they go away because I'm on a cell phone. So I apologize if I'm not interacting like I would if I was on my laptop. Animals are like humans. They feel when you are stressed, yes. So you need to take a nap to combat. Yeah, yeah, I know. Like, I don't want him to see me stressed. I don't want him to see me upset. So, I'm really trying to pull it together and be like strong, and I feel like getting on here is just helping me. This is just my time for just me, just to get everything off of my mind, and just to get it all kind of off out there, so that when I go back in the house, I won't be so stressed out. Actually, they're taking a nap in the bedroom right now. He's on amoxicillin, so that really spaces him out. So he'll probably be out maybe for the remaining of the day, but I've got to get some food in him. I've had several suggestions. The chicken broth, I tried that. He will not take it. I tried warming it up. I do have a turkey baster. I thought about, well, I don't have a dropper, but I do have a little syringe that you put, like, when you flush your ear out with the, like, hydrogen peroxide. I have one of those, so I could possibly, I actually hadn't thought about that until now. I could actually just draw the liquid in that and then just shoot it in his mouth that way. But, like, the main concern is that I want him eating on his own, because if he's dependent on me or my husband feeding him, then that's not a good sign. I mean, it has to be, his appetite has to come back at some point. Now I'm sure he's just not feeling well, and he just doesn't have the energy. Like, he's very weak on his legs. Sometimes I'd have to carry him into the bathroom. We've just got like an old towel, because he just can't make it down the stairs, or walk around, walk. So I want to make sure that he's keeping his energy levels. So I might try that little syringe and put yeah, I might do that. I'm gonna do that. And the other thing is, I sort of thought about putting, because we got two rotisserie chickens, and I know that they do have dextrose, and I actually asked the vet if it was okay to feed him that, because dextrose is like cane sugar. So she was okay with saying feed him that. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm going to have to put it in my Ninja Bullet and make it pasty, because it seems like he's going to be on a soft food diet, because he just hasn't been eating anything like any dog food or anything. So, like, with his stools, they're not going to be hard. He's going to have diarrhea. So, I'm going to put, I'm going to make up some chicken and just put it in like a paste, and just see how he goes with that. And yes, I'm gonna have to just open his mouth and put it in. That's the vet said that's what we've got to do. So if we've got to do that, then that's what we've got to do to make him just feel better. And I think once he has some food in his belly, that will give him more energy. But his belly has just been grumbling and groaning. But the good thing is that with the he had cottage cheese as well, and I put that in his mouth, and he didn't spit it up. Like, he was just kind of rolling his tongue around and just like he put it down. And so that's a good thing. I should look at all these things as a good thing. um but when you see your baby's not acting right and not feeling well, it's just yeah, it's stressful and upsetting. But I'm going to really try and pull it together and not be stressed and not be. My husband is just telling me, just be calm, just be calm. Like, he's calm with everything in life. I mean, I don't know about men. They're just so, like, they're relaxed about everything. And we're just like, as women, I'm not saying all of us women, but a lot of us women are emotional creatures. Like, that's the difference between a man and a woman. We're emotional creatures. They're like, let's fix it. They try and find a thing about how I can fix a situation. And, sometimes I wish I could be like that. But we're just gonna we're just gonna give him the rest. He's actually having a new bed coming in from Sam's Club in a few days. I hope, maybe, hopefully it might be in today. It's an orthopedic. Sorry, got disconnected. YouTube dropped out. I've never actually had that happen to me. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, about his bed. So it's an orthopedic bed, and well, the great thing is we actually thought that he was starting to show symptoms of having some arthritis in his legs. And do what you have to do. We are emotional creatures. Yeah, and I feel like this is what I need to do. I need to just sit out here while they're sleeping and just get all my thoughts out of my head, because then I'll feel better. If you kind of bottle it up, then you combust. So for me, I've just got to get it out there, because I tend to get very overwhelmed. Like, I've had depression and anxiety, and I feel like now this is my way of just dealing with it all, is actually to just talking it out. And and it's good to get other people's advice too, and just the prayers and the kind words and vibes. That really helps me. It helps me settle, and I give it all to God. I pray, I pray, I pray. And, even like my husband sort of said stuff to me like, oh, if you pray and you're a Christian and everything, you shouldn't be like this. But, like, God wants us to be, He wants us to be weak. He wants to see our weaknesses. He gives us all these emotions to use. So he gave us PMS, and he gave us to be emotional, and he gave us all these emotions. So, we should use them, not just be, just calm and collect. It would be great if we were all calm and collect. Not all of us is going to deal with the same situation. Now, usually I deal with stress pretty well, because I every single day deal with it. I deal with the stress of my husband being sick, very sick, and things come up with his health, and things seem to feel like they're getting worse. And like, I mean, I don't question anything at all, but that man has a lot going on. I mean, he has more than enough, but God must seem to think that he can handle a lot. And we're actually still waiting on a call from his kidney specialist, because my husband's been having really bad kidney problems as well, and he's like urinating the protein out of his kidneys. So we've been praying that he won't have to go on dialysis. And I think it's been like 2.5 weeks since they've put a referral in, and we haven't heard a thing. And I have called several times, and they're just like, oh, it's just got to be processed. It's just like, you just got to wait. And like, yeah, I have patience, but like, when you see your husband sick, you just, and you know, your pet or your baby or your children, you want them to get the care like right then and there. And I come from a country where we have free healthcare, so you know we don't have to worry about paying a deductible or having a referral or meeting certain criteria. It's just you go to the doctor, you get seen, and that's just it. So I don't know. America is just so crazy. They need to get with the free healthcare now. So now going forward with Charlie is he's going to have to go to the vets to get his blood work taken every so often. I'm not sure how often. So we're actually looking into pet insurance, and I did see something at the animal hospital. It was a credit card that had, like, it was a credit card for animals. I forget what it was called, but I just ripped the paper off the little booklet. So I'm going to look into that, because if he's going to have to be going to the vets all the time, just a vet visit, without any testing or anything, that's $104. So, you know, everything's going to be adding up. So, we just feel so blessed that we have the finances that we've been able to take care of Charlie, because everything's like all the vet bills from our vet that we take him to, and then the emergency department, all the tests that they've done, the ultrasounds and the different tests, like for the Cushing's disease, and then for yeah, I think I said the ultrasound. See, my brain is not working. The electrolytes, the IV treatment for over the past 3 days, the meds, everything like that. I think it's all come to about $2,200. So that is more than what a round ticket to Australia is. And so it don't look like I'll be seeing my mum anytime soon, because she's been having kind of not financial difficulties, but she put my ticket on her credit card last time, because we just sort of had a lot of things just pop up, like I don't know, things were wrong and we had to pay for this, pay for that. So she paid for my ticket, and she had like just a credit card with her um own money on it. So it was $1,700. So she's just been paying off that $1,700. She finally just decided just to go into some savings that she had just to pay it off, because it was just overwhelming just to pay it off, you know. So she just paid it off, and now she's trying to get the money together so that she can come over next year, because she hasn't seen Charlie or my husband for 2 years. So, you know, that's her fur grandbaby, and she really wants to be here, but that's keeping us apart. Now, when you live in two different countries and it's so far away, like, and it's hard because I only have my mum. That's all I have, other than my husband and Charlie, and you guys, of course. You guys, of course. But you know what I mean. I mean, blood-related family and family by marriage. That's what I mean. Um, so yeah, it's stressful in a way, because, you know, I want my mum to be here, and you know how it is when you're a daughter or a son and you want your mum there. And you know, for me, when I get stressed and when I'm going through a hard time, I just want my mum. I just want to reach out to my mum, and like, yeah, we can talk on the phone, and yeah, we can see each other on Facebook chat, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I miss my mum, just being here, just hugging me. But you know, I guess this is the life I've chosen. I've chosen to be to be away from her, and not away from her, but my life has put me in another country, and I'm here now, and we just make it work. We make it work. And I don't know what the future's going to hold. I have no idea what the future's going to hold. But I said, if my mum gets really bad with her health, and she can't maintain being in her house, then she's going to have to come over here. But I mean, no health insurance or anything like that. And then the whole thing I went through with my green card, that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be a kind of, harder to do, because my husband's already sponsored me, and I don't know how it would work with my mum. And I don't want to be putting my mum in a nursing home. She's just like, oh, just put me in a nursing home. I'm like, no way. I'm going to take care of you just like you took care of me growing up. So we'll just have to see. So I'm not looking too far into the future right now. I'm just day by day, just take it day by day with Charlie, and just try and get his food in the best way that we can. The vet was actually saying, oh, we want him to eat a quarter of a chicken. I'm like, he doesn't even eat that normally. He's a very picky eater. So I'm just going to try and just get soft foods in. And that plain yogurt, like that Greek plain yogurt, I think it still has 9 grams of carbohydrates for, gosh, I didn't even look at the serving size. I should. And it has 7 grams of sugar. So, really that's not good. I was actually looking at the phage yogurt. I hope I'm saying it right. The phage yogurt that a lot of ketoers eat. And they'll just put the Mio drops in. That has less carbs and less sugars. So I could have got him that, but the thing is, like, his insulin has been dropping low too, so he needs that. He does need some sugar in what he's eating. And then if it gets too high, we just have to give him a shot. But this is really a new thing for me, because my other dog that I had, we never had any issues. Like, not, well, we did have issues. We didn't have any insulin diabetic dogs. So this is new for me, and it's a new thing that I'm going to have to research. Like, how is he going to feel if like his sugars are too low? It said that his body will shake. I've got to look into what symptoms do I have to be looking for. Um, um, so yeah. And my other dog that I had, we went through a really hard time with him, because he had a lot of back-related issues. He had a lot of arthritis, and then he fell down. We think he fell down the front steps at my mum's, and he had his 2 back legs were paralyzed, and there was just nothing that we could do for him. But he was in there for a couple of days, just in so much pain. And I just said, Mum, we've just got to do what's right for him. We've got to make the decision, and we did. So I mean, it took me years and years to just get over the loss of Ollie, because he was just everything to me. He was my best friend. I came from a family of violence. My stepdad had raped me and molested me and beaten me, and Ollie was my best friend. I got my hugs and my loves from him, and I would even like talk to him and tell him what was going on, and he'd just give me the sad eyes. Dogs are very smart. They pick up on what's going on in the house. They pick up on your they pick up on your vibes, and they know if you're stressed or overwhelmed. That doesn't make them feel good. So I don't want that for Charlie. I don't want to put that on Charlie. So I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to put my happy face on, and and just, everything's going to be okay, and just pray. I've just got to pray. I've just got to take some time out with God this morning. It's very cool here in North Carolina. The weather has been crazy. It's been so hot consistently, and then it's just been It's just been cold. It's just been cool and cold. Sorry, my husband's up there and I'm thinking, does he need me to come in? No, he's fine. So what are your plans for the weekend? Um, yeah, I'd love to hear your plans. I like to hear what families get up to and, you know, just knowing that everyone else is having a happy weekend with their families and relaxing and maybe going to the beach or whatever you get up to. Now, yesterday I did go to Sam's Club and I will try to do a shopping haul because I got some really new, exciting products that I want to show you. Um, and I also was gonna kind of show you what I got for Charlie and say, this is Charlie's little food haul. So, yeah. But I mean, I really would show you what he looks like now, but he just doesn't want to be bothered. I hope you all understand. He just doesn't want to be bothered or pulled around or held. We've just got to keep his energy. But thank you so, so much, everyone, again. I keep saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. Thank you so much for all your love and support. And Raina, thank you for checking up on me last night, asking me if everything was okay. That was really, really sweet of you. Thank you. And I'm sorry if I if I just go oh, this, that happens, and I just go off on a rant, really. I go off on a rant. But thank you so much just for saying, is everything okay? That I can tell you I've never had any friends who have done that for me. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. I've never had any friends who have just checked up on me. They've just let me deal with the whole situations, and it's just really, really sweet. And I wish that I had friends like you here living in North Carolina, you know r- to be here in real life. I just know that we would get on great, girl. I just know that we'd be there for each other. We'd be there to support each other. And I just don't know why I just don't know why I get along so well with people that are online and live so far away from me. Like I said, I think I can just be vulnerable and myself without any judgments. I just feel that the people that I've had in my life I'm going to be 36 for 36 years, have just judged me. And I do have one friend who has been asking, how is he? She's been amazing. She hasn't been able to come by or stop by the house because she's been busy at work. But she says, how's everything going? How's Charlie? And sometimes that's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear. Um, and to and that means a lot to someone. It means a lot to someone to just be asked, well, how's your day going? You know, how's your day going? But I've had a whole people in my life that have been from a church. Now, I don't, I mean, I'm a Christian, so I go to church. I used to go to church. So the last church that I went to, everyone was just, they started off lovely. They started off very lovely and involving me in things. But because I don't drive, I had to have a friend come pick me up to and from church. And, I even said, if it's too much, I don't want to be a burden. And she's like, oh, no, no. And I mean, she has a family and I understand that, and she's busy with work and everything. But after church, they would make plans to go out for lunch, and I'd be standing there, and they not once did they ask me, oh, Sharon, would you like to join us? And I just felt left out. I felt like I was an outcast. I would sit in church in the pews, and I'd be just sitting there, and other people would just be standing in front of me talking amongst themselves. And a lot of them were all about gossip. They were all about gossip about what was going on with such and such is in hospital, or, this or that. And it was just a lot of things. And I just was like, I didn't want to be there anymore. It was kind of like I felt like it was. I just like, yeah, I love hearing the word of God. I love hearing the word of God, but it was just. I feel like I can do that at home. I can do that anywhere. Like God is everywhere. He's everywhere. He's with us right now. Like He's everywhere. He's not in a building. God is not a building. He's not like you don't have to go to church to be a Christian or a Catholic or whatever you are. I'm Pentecostal. So, you do not have to go into a church. And I feel like people who do go to a church, and please do not take this, I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm sorry if I offend anyone. But 100% of the time, people that do go to the church, they're the ones that are they're the sinners. It's like it's a hospital for sinners. That's what a church is. Um, and they're all trying to do and live the best life and what God wants for them and everything. And that's great. When they're in church, they kind of, act caring and loving and stuff. But I notice them once they leave, that's it. They don't walk with God. They talk it, but they don't walk it. And you've got to do both. You've got to do both. You can't do one or the other because God wants us to talk it. He wants us to know scripture and he wants us to spread the love and his story and the Bible, and he wants us to help people that are not saved. But then he wants us to walk it as well. He wants us to show kindness, compassion, love. He wants us to, if a brother or sister is struggling or going through something, he wants everyone to be there for each other. He wants people from the church to be at your hospital bed praying over you. And my husband and I, we were apart for 3 months. I was in Australia. He couldn't make the trip because he had to stay here with Charlie. Okay, no problem. And anyway, not one person checked on my husband or offered to check on my husband. Now, he's disabled and he can barely stand on his legs for more than 5 minutes. He has 18 different meds. He's diabetic. He gets dizzy. I mean, really, I hated that I left him that long. But I don't get to see my mum all but 5 weeks. And he was taking care of Charlie too. See, I have been in Australia previously without Charlie, like before we got Charlie. Because Randy, that's my husband, Randy and I have been together since 2009 and we got married in 2011. So this is, I think, 9 years. 9 years we've been together, and 7 years this year, this August, we've been married. Gosh, 7 years. The time just goes by so fast. So within the 7 years, 6 years, I hadn't been back to Australia in 6 years. So, it was time for me to just go and have my time with my mom, and he did really well. But what would have made it easier is if we had have some people, if those people that I was going to church with for 2 years of my life I was going there, if they had have offered to help. Now, they were offering to help with other families. And I had even said to a lot of them that I was struggling, and I was really worried that Randy and Charlie were not going to do well. Not once did that friend that was taking me to church and dropping me off, not once did she ever say, "Oh, I'll call Randy," or "I'll check in on him," or "I'll make sure that he's got food." Like, because just to get out to the grocery store and to carry the bags from his truck up the steps is just, he can't do it. Now, our landlord is my husband's best friend. Now, he doesn't do much, as in take care of the house that we live in. A lot of things that go wrong in our house, our air conditioner all the time breaks. it freezes up or there's something wrong with it. And he's just will not fix it. He just does not want to put the money into it. Now, he's not good like that, and luckily these people that I'm talking about are not subscribers. And I don't at all want you to think I'm complaining or gossiping or anything, but it's just, these are the things that I've had to deal with in my life. And I think, so yeah, so getting back to our landlord, he did like check up, just call, but I don't think he actually came to the house. But if Randy needed anything, he would have been the one that would have come by. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's why too, as a person, I'm sort of, because I've been hurt by so many people from the churches that I've been to, and it's happened in Australia as well. Same thing happened in Australia. If you stop helping out, or if you just can't help out with their ministries or whatever, and they just don't want to know you. It's all what you are doing for them. And yeah, I want to do as much as I can for the church. But see, I don't drive, so I had to rely on people to get me there. And not once was I ever asked, like, to a dinner that the church had, or like I was in a choir and there was some choir practices. And my friend knew that I was in the choir, and she didn't say, I'm going to come pick you up, Sharon. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me being in a church where you just don't feel that connection or help or support. That's what I'm looking for. I am looking for another church where I will find that. I do want to go back to church. I actually want to help the homeless. My husband and I, we buy things for blessing bags, and I'm going to do a video on that, about how to put a blessing bag together. And my mum is actually giving to a woman's shelter and a child's shelter. Because we actually had a family member who was homeless. My cousin was homeless. And going back 6 months ago, we actually, my cousin died. He drowned. But we hadn't seen him in 15 years. And why we hadn't seen him in 15 years is because he was violent. He tried to rape me when I was 2. He was very violent. He wasn't a very nice person back then. He really had the devil in him. But then he changed. He turned his life around. He got to know God. He was truly doing things for the greater good, and he was doing God's work. And then my mum and I, the police came out to our house and told us what happened to him, and it was just such a shock. And we didn't even have the finances to bury or cremate him. So his church just pulled together all the money, and not only did we cremate him, we put him in a garden. Now that sun's getting a little out here. We put him in like a memorial garden. We scattered his ashes, and he's at peace now. But the sad thing is, we didn't know him like that. So, a lot of people are saying, oh, he was a great guy, and he was happy guy. And it's sad, because I would have loved to have seen my cousin like that. And when it comes my time to go to heaven, I think we're going to have great conversations. Well, anyway, I guess I better wrap this up. I have laundry to do, and I have I guess some chicken I need to blend up for Charlie and get that chicken broth into him with the syringe. But I will be doing one day of updates over a week, however long it's going to take. And I've also been thinking about the new playlist that I'm going to put together for Charlie. I believe it's going to be the day in the life of Charlie is what I'm going to call it. So it'll be like, when we go out with him, or what he's doing around the house, or or just chit-chatting. So yeah. And usually he is just so loving and cuddly, and he just loves to sit there. So I can't wait for you all to see him when he's back to normal. And I'll be giving him hugs and kisses for you all. And just thank you. Thank you again for your kindness, your compassion, your support, and your prayers. It just means everything to our little family. So I hope that you have a blessed Saturday. And I will check in with you soon. Take care. Bye.